Hey guys, I really enjoyed watching the Australia video, and so did you, so let's do another.
This seal is such a menace that he routinely gets the cops called on him.
How? How can a seal be a menace, excuse me?
Introducing our protagonist, Neil the Seal, a 600 kilo
Get
absolute
him.
unit of a southern elephant seal from my home state of Tasmania in the land down under, who is known for, above all
Get
else,
him,
being
cute
an absolute
boy.
fucking menace to polite society.
No,
despite
he's
his
a
crimes,
goober.
we all still truly love him. But what are his
Exactly.
crimes? Well, see, he seems to just fucking hate traffic cones and road safety
Sorry,
in general.
I like seals.
He's regularly been caught trespassing, and then once he has been caught trespassing,
Look at him.
belligerently screaming at locals because they won't give him his fucking fish, and has been known to just block roads by plopping his fat ass down directly in the middle.
No, that's his
However,
road. That's
hands
his road
down,
now.
The funniest shit he has ever done was just straight stopping this random lady from going to work. I shit you not. This motherfucker crawled out of the ocean, up the beach, crossed the road, absolutely fucking bodied this woman's poor letterbox.
Oh my
and then
god.
proceeded to
Oh my
plant
god.
himself directly in front of her fucking car.
Good.
She was then
Good.
unable to go to work because this half-ton beefcake was camping her driveway for
him.
so damn long. Local news had time to drive out to her house and cover the fucking story.
That's crazy.
Now, this is a lot of
Look
menace
at the
for a
little
single seal,
guy.
of course. But the funniest part of this is,
Look at the
old mate isn't
potato.
even fully grown. He's like 5 years old. If you think he can fuck things up
My
now,
god.
wait until he's nearly 2 solid-ass tons of blubber.
That's not real. That's fake. Please tell me that's AI. Please tell me that's...
Wait until
Oh
he's
god.
nearly 2
That's not real. That has to be fake. Guys, tell me that's fake. Tell me that's not real.
solid-ass tons of blubber and
Holy
takes issue with the wall of
shit.
your house. I do not think that seal damage is covered on my fucking insurance plan, dude. People get shocked when I whip out like a flawless American accent.
Oh
So
my
I've got
god.
like a really
Oh my
thick
god.
Australian one, right? But I am not above.
Oh, rock cam.
Dude, I can't
Was
wait
not
to go get,
expecting that.
burgers later, man. I'm like so hyped for burgers, dude. I fucking love cheeseburgers. Dude, you've been watching the
Wait,
NFL?
he's American now?
Super Bowl was crazy this year, man. Eagles just like fucking dumpstered the Chiefs, bro. It was crazy. Australia lost a war to emus.
What? What?
But how?
Okay.
How the f did we lose an armed conflict with flightless
Oh.
birds? Well, it all started
Yeah,
in
how?
1932 when farmers in Western Australia wanted to grow wheat. There was just one major
Okay.
problem. That's emu territory.
Emus.
And emus really like wheat. And coming in at 6 foot tall and 40
I
kilos
see.
in weight, they can eat a lot of it. So when breeding season came around, the emus migrated through the farmland, and these poor farmers were overwhelmed
Decimated them.
by a tyrannid swarm of man-sized poultry, 20,000 emus strong. These feathered
Holy
tanks then
shit.
proceeded to completely steamroll through the fences into the fields and started laying waste to the wheat. The farmers attempted to fight back the initial wave with rifle fire, but their efforts were, putting it lightly,
Ow!
completely useless. This ginormous
Ow!
L made the farmers pretty bloody angry, so they gathered together.
I'm sorry? How do flightless birds win against rifles? How on earth do animals win against guns? Excuse me?
And went to the government to ask for help. Sir, 20,000 emus have hit the wheat fields. My mate. And so the government declared the emus enemies of the state and sent in the army to commence the Great Emu War. The entire 7th Heavy
Great
Artillery
Emu War is such a cursed title. Oh my god.
Division was deployed to WA, armed with 2 LMGs, 10,000 rounds, and the sole objective to blast anything with feathers. A little bit excessive for an overgrown
how did
turkey,
they
if you
lose?
ask me. And
How
upon
did
their
they
first
lose that?
deployment, the army immediately ran into a major problem. Emus
Which
are
was?
fast.
I am speed.
Really fast, clocking a top
Okay,
speed
but
of 50
still.
kilometers an hour, which meant that once they opened fire, the emus would immediately bolt out of range of their weapons. But they still took a crack at
Oh.
it, and then immediately stopped when both LMGs jammed after only dropping 12 emus. This embarrassment led the army to
Bruh.
retreat and rethink their plan. So a few
Bruh.
weeks later they returned, this time mounting the LMGs on trucks in an attempt to run the birds down. However, this also didn't work, because after figuring out that
How?
those trucks meant they were about to be turned into a KFC family bucket,
Oh.
the emus
Well, you're
started leading
smart.
scout birds who would warn the flock of the approaching trucks, which gave them all enough time to book it before
Excuse
the army
me?
even got there. And whenever they did catch the emus, they found out they were kind of... Because emus are mostly feathers, and there's a lot of places you can hit on them without doing any damage. Meaning it was taking
Okay.
around 10 bullets for every one bird. So after a
What
month
the
of
fuck?
blood, sweat, tears, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, the army managed to bring down 960. The population
Whoa.
was 20,000. This was an issue as, unlike America, our defense budget is not a bottomless pit. So the army
Holy
had wasted all that
shit.
money to achieve absolutely fuck all. So the government just kind of built a really long, really shit fence around the farms and called it a day. How the fuck did we lose this? I could have done a better job with a boomerang and a cricket bat. I have been assaulted by a cow. One of the cows is called Monty, and he's an adolescent. And I made the mistake of turning around for like 5 seconds. And in
big
that
mistake,
5
buddy.
seconds, this
Big mistake.
500-kilo cow runs up behind me while I'm sorting out his food and tries to f***ing mount me.
Oh.
He nearly
Um.
squished me. If I hadn't been hitting legs, I would have been squashed by a horny
You
f***ing
haven't been
cow.
hitting legs. Okay, bro. Okay, casual. What?
This bird has to rearrange its organs and skeleton just to lay an
Oh.
egg. This cute little guy is the kiwi
Look at
bird, a
him.
species of ratite native to New Zealand this time, and the absolute poster
Oh,
child
Zealand?
for getting cucked by evolution. You see, this walking featherball is actually directly related to the emu, ostrich, and
cute.
cassowary, being a member of the same family of flightless birds. However,
Yeah, I
there
could
is a
imagine.
problem.
They look
You see,
similar.
The rest of the kiwi's bloodline actually looked up a build guide before picking their stat spread, and as such made sure to trade the whole
So I love the idea of a cassowary in Elden Ring playing freaking Ronnie build. Oh my
flying
god.
thing for something useful. With all of his cousins specking into speed, size, and some kind of offensive capability. So that leaves the question, what did the kiwi pick to make up for not flying?
Nothing.
Absolutely f***ing nothing.
I knew it. I knew it.
Tiny in comparison to their relatives.
I
coming
fucking
in at only
called it.
4 kilos in weight.
Look at them though. Look at they don't need anything. They're adorable. They're adorable. This is when someone in the comments is gonna say, "Oh no, they're actually horrific," and here's why.
And 50 centimeters tall. This is because kiwis evolved largely on an island with no natural predators, so they downsized
Oh, so
and
the
traded
dodo
out the
bird?
knife feet and bloodlust for just being a little guy with a good attitude.
No.
Which honestly worked pretty well for them until the British did British things, and now they have to deal with cats and dogs trying to eat them. And considering this build was not designed for PvP, they have been clapped so hard by an
Ignore the
invasive
British,
species
ignore the
that they are
British.
now unfortunately an endangered animal. But getting shafted by the
No.
British is just the beginning of the generational violation of the kiwi, because these poor feathered fruits can't even reproduce without getting f***ed over. You see, the kiwi
Wait.
bird's cousins are famous for
So like, is it like the panda bears or something? They like can't or don't reproduce? I'm very ill-informed. I just know they're like endangered for some reason similar to this, I think.
laying huge eggs. I'm talking hit
Bruh.
your protein macros in one meal-sized eggs. And you
Bruh.
would think that is because they are large. And you would be wrong. Because their vertically
Huh?
challenged cousins have to lay eggs the same size. A kiwi bird lays eggs
Excuse. Oh. Oh my god.
20% the size of their body. With the egg being so bloody large, it rearranges their internal organs and stretches
Lord.
their rib cage just to be able to
Oh
hold the thing. For reference, that is like a
my.
human giving birth to a 15-kilo child. That's not a bun in the oven anymore.
Bruh.
That's a whole f***ing bakery. There was a big-ass Huntsman that used to live in my house, and I'm going to be
Oh
honest,
no,
dude,
not
I kind of just
spiders.
let him hang out.
He ain't
Why?
too small. I'll tell you that
Oh.
much. There's a huntsman. And they go,
I was quite
That's
happy to
leaving.
let him just chill
Oh.
because I never saw a f***ing mosquito or a fly in that house. So he was paying
Don't
rent
care.
in his own way, you know?
Don't care.
Scientists just de-extincted a 12,000-year-old dog. Well, kinda. You see, a bioengineering company called Colossal has dedicated itself to doing what every single Jurassic Park film has.
Yeah, literally. What, isn't this like the exact same thing as like the Jurassic Park films? Wasn't he like the direwolf or something from Game of Thrones? That's the only I know it from.
Is a bad idea. Bringing back extinct species. And recently,
we're opening Pandora's box.
They've managed to bring back the 12,000-year-old direwolf. You know those big-ass
See? I'm not done. I do know things.
Puppies from Game of Thrones that the Starks had? Yeah, those were actually a real last animal, alive during the late Ice Age. And the best way I can describe them to you is...
Sorry, Ice Age. Go it film.
Basically a wolf on steroids. Yeah, buddy!
Okay, before he gets into this, when I read this originally, I always knew this was a bad idea. Why on earth would we bring back predators that are extinct? Why not some of the nicer animals that aren't predators and that can't eat us and that can't, cause massive upset to the natural ecosystem? It seems like a really, really bad idea.
These things were bigger, faster, and stronger, estimated to have the highest bite force out of any canine. And in a move that I'm sure has no implications, they have managed to bring these bad boys back to life. These two little guys are now 6 months old and have been living on a private plot of land with 24/7 veterinary care. However, they've only just been
they
shown
are
off
gorgeous.
to the public, with the company going so far as to get a photo op with George R.R. Martin holding one of these adorable little puppy, showing that man will literally interact with an extinct species before he finishes that last book. There is, however, one small problem. This isn't technically a direwolf. You see, by merit of them being extinct, short of specking into necromancy, you can't exactly bring them back. Which is where this guy comes in. You see, the grey wolf shares 99.5% of its genetic code with the direwolf. So, using CRISPR gene editing, they basically toss the grey wolf back into the spore creature creator, then using the code found in direwolf fossils as a build guide, juiced the out of it, boosting the size slider and putting some extra points into strength.
So basically just like gene editing, essentially, to the max.
Adjusting its head shape and teeth. All in all, they made a total of 20 edits to 14 genes, producing the closest thing we can get to a direwolf short of time travel. Which is cool as
Bruh.
I give it 5 years before a man-made horror beyond comprehension breaks out of that lab and we are all playing Resident Evil.
No, thank you, I'm good.
This bear was actually a soldier. But hey,
no, please tell me he didn't get hurt. Please tell me he didn't get hurt. Please tell me he didn't get hurt.
1942, and the 22nd Polish Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran, on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd, looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear...
How on earth do you get, I mean, okay, orphaned, but still, like, the likelihood of that happening, insane.
Bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad lore, said, "Damn good deal." And in the most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Voytech. And the 22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier.
Oh, look at the little guy.
As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker, who wasted no time in showing Voytech how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Voytech would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you? On top of double rations, they would also feed Voytech treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They let the bear have
Surely
smoko.
surely that is not good for the bear. I mean, it's not good for anyone, but like, I feel like it might be worse for the bear, right?
Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely none of it. You see, pets were
What do you
not
mean?
allowed in the army, which meant Voytech had to go. Or did he?
No, they
Because the
conscripted him.
22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my
He's
part.
part of the
I'm doing my
team.
part.
Voytech was given a serial number and granted the rank of private. So when confronted about the
Private
very conspicuous
Voytech.
bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Voytech."
I'm just imagining him like in like an army uniform now, and I love that mental image so much.
And Voytech took his new role very seriously, as during
I'm
the
sure
Battle
he
of Monte
did.
Cassino in 1944, Voytech began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in
Oh,
combat.
he was a water boy.
They had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery, he was
Resupply
promoted
bear.
to the rank of corporal, and the 22nd changed their insignia to a bear
Yo.
carrying an artillery shell. This
That's
absolute
sick.
unit
That's
smoked,
sick.
drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis.
Let's
Base.
go, Voytech.
Australia has just found zombified bugs. That's right, we are closer to...
Please, not the flood. Please, not the flood. Please, anything but the flood. We are fucked if it's anything like the flood in any way, shape, or form. Please, nothing like the flood. Fuck the T-virus. Fuck the fucking cordyceps bullshit. The most scariest form of like zombies in any video game is Halo's Flood. I will stand by that. I will die on this hill. The Flood are 10 times scarier than any other kind of zombie.
To the Walking Dead Down Under than you think. You see, just recently, a scientist
Oh,
by the name of
no.
Dr. Francois Broussard made a trek out to the
Francois.
remote savannah of the Northern Territory with the goal of finding and cataloguing
Cork.
brand new species of insect unknown to science. I mean,
Can I just say, can we stop? Can we stop discovering things in Australia, please? Every single time we make a new discovery, like the last video, they discovered a new type of spider, a bigger spider. Could we just stop? Like, we don't need to know. We don't want to know. We know that everything on Australia is just bugged. So let's just stop
me
looking.
personally, I think we found more than enough bugs, especially considering the
Yeah,
carbon can
exactly.
send me directly into the fucking soil. What do I know, right?
Exactly.
Anyway, on his trip to the middle of fucking nowhere, he stumbled across a colony of spiny savanna ants, which is a pretty normal
Okay.
thing to find out there. However, getting closer,
That image is
he
cursed.
noticed something a little off. You see, the main ant colony was fine, completely normal. However, the several
Oh.
disfigured and deformed ant corpses clamped onto shoots of grass surrounding the
Oh, this is
colony like a Bug's
cordyceps,
Life
right?
version of Vlad the Inhaler. yeah, those were significantly less normal. Broussard, mildly unsettled by the ant gore on his timeline, took samples for inspection and upon getting a closer look, realised something both really cool and really, really spooky. The ants had been overtaken by fungus.
Yes,
More
cordyceps.
accurately, a
Okay.
previously unknown strain of the cordyceps fungus, infamous around the globe for its ability to create zombie bugs. And the way
Just
it does it is
horrific.
unbelievably horrific.
I don't know anything about cordyceps other than this one thing that it infects ants, and it's the main reason the zombies happened in that last game. I've not played it, so I don't know for sure. I just know they're like fungus zombies, right? I'm sure you guys in the comments will let me know. But can we just like burn all of this like fungus? Can we just get rid of it? Like destroy it? It's obviously not a good thing to have
So
around.
it begins with a spore landing on an ant and producing a thin rope-like strand that penetrates and attaches to their exoskeleton. At which point the ant gets a little timer on his hotbar, counting down to
Oh,
a family reunion with his
no.
ancestors. Once inside, the fungus
No.
begins to take control of the ant's body and brain function, completely changing their
This is
behavior,
so fucked
replacing
up.
their colony-focused mindset with one single goal: Climb. Its fungus-riddled
Yeah.
mind drags its rapidly deteriorating body to the closest
Yeah, I
high
know
point,
that.
which is usually a plant, with its final act
So it can
being
get
to clamp
eaten.
its mandibles onto the stem in a death grip, finally succumbing to the infection and being completely
This is so
consumed.
fucked.
Its corpse blossoming into a fully grown
This is so
cordyceps fungus
fucked.
and raining down spores onto the rest of the colony to continue the cycle of infection. Now look,
This
I know
is
this
beyond
fungus is found
fucked.
elsewhere in the world, but it's a new strain and it was found.
What? It's elsewhere in the world. It's bro quarantine. It's no longer quarantine to just Oh no. You know this is like very like if zombies was to happen, it'd be something like this where it jumps to humans, and that shit is terrifying.
In Australia. With my luck, I'm going to be playing The Last of Us against couch-sized spiders
That was the
within
game.
fucking week.
That-
Who wins? 100 men or one gorilla? Well, to get your answer,
Ooh.
we're going to have to look at our
Ooh.
fighters
One
for the
gorilla,
most
one gorilla.
anticipated cage match of 2025.
Gorillas are fucking powerful creatures. They are not to be fucked with, like in any way. Gorillas will fuck you up.
And in the red corner, standing at an impressive 6 feet tall and weighing a
I won't lie though, if there's any kind of animal that I do like and I would like to interact with, is it's over primate animals. I don't know the technical term, but like orangutans especially, I love orangutans. I don't know why, they're just so cute, and I feel like they're the closest to humans. So it's almost like you can like kind of understand them in a weird way. Maybe I'm simplifying it too much, but I like orangutans a lot.
ridiculous 220 kilos. We have
They're like my
one
favorite animal, if I had to name an
silverback
animal.
Gorilla.
I don't know, monkey's just cool. Monkey's just badass and
This
cool.
fighter is bringing some impressive
Rip
physical
Harambe.
strength, capable of lifting up to 800 kilos of weight.
Yeah, I'm not
meaning
surprised.
That if it
Not
gets
surprised.
its hands on you, a
You're
gorilla
fucked.
is more than capable of picking you up and doing you the
And
same
yeeting
way
you?
that Hulk did Loki.
I forgot about this scene.
Now, on top of being stronger than Eddie Hall, they also have an unreal reach advantage with a 2.6 meter
Oh shit!
wingspan,
Oh
which
shit!
is a fairly major problem because a right hook from a gorilla produces 2,700 pounds of force. To put that into perspective, the human skull shatters at 1,400. So if Winston hits you with a haymaker, your head is going to pop like a watermelon. And with the cage fight following the Mortal Kombat rule set, we can also factor in the gorilla's bite. Because despite being a pretty gentle herbivore in the wild, they have one of the highest bite forces on the planet.
Yeah,
at
I wouldn't want to fuck with that.
1,300 PSI.
I would
That
not
is
want to fuck with that
100
monster.
PSI more than a polar bear. And now
Oh.
with our fight.
There's no way. Sorry about that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. That can't be true.
Statistics out of the way. Let's get down to business. Can our gorilla win a fight against the 100 average men in the blue corner? Place your bets. Let's see who comes out on top. Yeah,
Gorilla.
Look, I'm
My
gonna
mother's a
keep it real
gorilla.
with you. Even with those stats, Winston here is getting bodied. I'm sorry, he's going
Wait,
back to the
huh?
spawn room. Do not pass go. Do
Nah,
not collect $200.
Nah. My boy Winston will win. My boy Winston would win this 100%. Nah, not even a
Hanging out
question.
with Harambe in heaven. 100 people.
No.
It's just too fucking many. He's getting jumped. However, not to
No.
say he's not going to take a few with him. My guess is one guy runs up and gets
He's
swatted
gonna
across
rip
the
and
cage like a
tear.
toddler, shatters his ribs against the bars. Second guy gets grabbed by the leg and given the Hulk treatment. About 6 other guys cop swings to the head and die instantly from broken necks. One dumbass is probably
Bruh.
going to try to hit him off the top rope and get done the same way that Omni-Man did Nightwing. But at that point, the crowd probably jumps in and
never seen
realises
Omni-Man.
that there are still about 90 of them and it's over.
Okay, I want to know who else agrees with me that a gorilla could beat 100 people. 100 people, just random people off the street, not like, physical athletes, just everyday people off the street. Gorilla's winning that. I'm sorry, Gorilla's winning
Not
it.
that the fight even needs to happen, but it wouldn't be the first time we lost a gorilla to human stupidity.
True.
Dolphins get drunk. But why?
Excuse me?
Well, you see, the dolphin is by far and away the smartest animal in the ocean. In fact,
Yeah.
they're actually the second smartest thing on the planet, just
They're
behind
amazing
you and
little
me.
guys.
This means they are smart enough to understand that the ideal way to spend your night is more plastered than Chad and Max on your average Cold Ones episode.
Hey, cold ones, let's go. Also, I'm aware that dolphins are also quite horrific in many ways. I don't need to hear about it. I am aware.
There is just one problem. Last I checked, there's no bottle-o in Bikini Bottom. So how does a dolphin
A
get
bottle-o?
fired for all?
The fuck's a
Simple.
buffalo?
They abuse pufferfish. You see, due to the lack
Oh my god, okay, sorry, I wasn't expecting that. That caught me off guard. I don't know why. That caught me so off guard. Holy shit,
of
sorry.
underwater alcohol, dolphins need to find other ways to get their fix, which is where SpongeBob's driving instructor comes in. You
What
see,
do you think,
pufferfish
pufferfish?
contain this really cool and totally not dangerous substance called tetrodotoxin. What is tetrodotoxin?
Wait, we've heard this before,
it's
right?
only one of the most potent
that
natural
toxin.
neurotoxins on the fucking planet. This
Wait, so they get drunk off neurotoxin. What?
will freeze your heart and lungs in under an
That
hour
was it,
with
yeah.
a tiny dose. And it's the reason why cooking a pufferfish requires a dexterity check so you don't,
Oh,
hit the poison
okay.
gland and get
Like in the Simpsons episode. I remember that. I always wondered
yourself
why.
deleted. Now,
Ooh.
puffers carry this as a defense mechanism as poison accumulates in their organs and skin. Why is that
But
important? Well, you see,
Isn't
I kind
that
of
a
lied.
shit defense mechanism?
Dolphins don't get drunk.
'Cause the-
They get high
Okay.
on neurotoxin.
Bruh.
Pods of dolphins will bully pufferfish until they inflate, then partake in a literal puff-puff-pass. By lightly squeezing the puffer in their mouth, they receive a small dose of
Oh.
neurotoxin, which has a narcotic effect, allowing Flipper here to
Okay.
trip balls before passing the unhappy basketball onto the next submarine stoner.
Unhappy basketball.
Flipper and friends saw the deadliest neurotoxin on the planet and said, "Fuck it, let me
Yeah, I'll
try
have a
some of
puff."
that." This isn't a spider. It's a snake. Introducing
like
the
a
Iranian
spider.
spider-tailed horned viper. As the name suggests, native to Iran.
I couldn't even. Bro, I could not even see it in that first image. What the
And
fuck?
you are all probably wondering why the f this snake has decided to attach a cosplay of the average Australian resident to his tail.
Oh, bro.
The answer is food. You see, every known snake species is a predator. Some eat Bambi, others eat Remy, and the spider tail, not unlike myself, absolutely fucking loves KFC.
I'm sorry. I know some of you in the comments are like, nah, snakes are nice little cute gooblers. You're wrong. Look at that monster. It is a monster. It does not deserve a hyphen. It is a monster.
But birds famously tend to fly, and last I checked, note ropes don't have wings. So how does this viper
No
get
wings.
his zinger box? The answer is again food. You see, birds eat insects, and the spider tail knows this.
That's where
so
the
rather
tail-
than trying to chase his prey down, this
Okay.
lazy fucker has evolved the evolutionary equivalent of DoorDash. You see, when a viper feels like a meal, it'll start the hunt by finding a nice rocky outcrop to curl up on like a couch. And due to the camouflage on his scales,
Just
this
wait for
snake
it to be
becomes
turtle out, yeah?
practically invisible.
Yeah, like in the first image.
Once he's nice and cozy,
still
he
need to
begins
play Metal Gear.
slowly wiggle his tail back and forth in front of his face, perfectly mimicking
Oh god,
the
that's
motion of an insect.
horrible.
Think of this as him
That's
placing his Uber
horrible.
Eats order. Meanwhile, up in the air, our undercooked chicken tender is flying around when, holy shit, a free meal! What a delectable bug, just sitting there on that rock. And so, Tweety Birdie swoops down to grab himself an insect Happy Meal.
It looks so real too. That's
Just as he's
fucked
about
up.
to reach his meal, this spider can remove
no.
your limbs. But how? Introducing the brown
Necrosis,
recluse,
I'm gonna
native
guess,
to
right?
the United States of America, and a prime example of don't judge a book by its cover. Because despite only coming in at a
Oh my god, I hate
huge
spiders.
2 centimeters in length and rocking the spider equivalent of default character customization, this little
Bruh.
is a level 500 rot build that gives Melania a run for her
I
money.
knew it. I knew it
You
was
see, a bite
necrosis. It
from a
has to
recluse
be.
starts in the most
Pre-washed,
American
obviously.
way possible, with you accidentally stepping foot onto his private property, causing him to exercise his Second Amendment rights. But considering a
remove
spider
your
can't really
limbs?
hold a gun, he's gonna settle on biting your ass.
Oh,
Now, that
god,
initial
I fucking
bite's
hate
pretty
spiders.
painless. You smack him away, all's well. There is just
Until-
one small problem. Congratulations,
Oh, no,
you are
not
now
Scarlet
the proud
Rot,
owner
no.
of necrotic venom coursing through your veins, which at first does nothing. You walk back to your house, the bite starts to sting a little more. You feel sick. The wound
Oh, no.
swells, and the blood vessels around the bite burst,
Was that
turning
pyro?
it a deep red. Over the next few days, that colour shifts from red to purple to black, as the venom literally destroys and kills the surrounding tissue in a process
What
called
the
necrosis.
fuck?
This
Oh my
causes
God.
the skin to literally rot and fall off of your body. And if you don't catch it in time, that rot's gonna spread. If you're lucky, it'll only make you violently ill and leave permanent scarring. If you're unlucky,
Bro.
it just keeps
Game
spreading,
ends.
and venom starts to destroy your blood cells and shut your organs down. Now, there's kind of only
Holy
one solution to
shit.
that, but you weren't using that
Computation.
anyway, right?
Just another reason why all spiders should be eradicated. I'm sorry. They just should be. They just should be removed.